Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. Kind of bumming it up today with the outfit. There was a few videos that went out where I was a little bit too overdressed, so I need to bring your guys' expectations back down. But no, for this video, what we're going to be doing is looking at the Galactic Republic faction. If you guys have missed these videos in the past, I've gone through and I've done Rebels, I've done Empire, so now I want to do the Galactic Republic. So what we'll do in this video is we rank all of the Galactic Republic characters from worst to best, keeping in mind a few things. Remember, we're looking at the character as a whole, not just in a specific game mode, so things like Omicrons, need to be put in their place. We also look at, the character's impact on the game, not just inside of, for example, R2-D2 inside of the Galactic Republic faction would be meh, but in terms of the overall game, he's a lot more useful. Just so keep that in mind, guys, when we're rating these things, that it's looking at their total use in the game, how they interact with each other, and if they can be used outside of, just how versatile they are. So we can't just look at them and say, yes, this character is amazing if they really only work with one team. So with all that said, guys, let's dive into our video. Smash that subscribe button, leave likes, and leave comments, because we need to get Wampa to Relic 8. If this channel hits 5,000 subscribers, Wampa hits Relic 8 on a special live stream where we'll do whatever you guys want to do. After, of course, we celebrate the Relic 8 for Wampa. So, guys, I love all of you. May the Force be with you. Let's get into this list. Let's dive into ranking the Galactic Republic and bring on the comments, because I know you guys always have them. All right, Eth Koth is first. I've never seen this character used. I 100% have never seen anybody actually use Eth Koth. So, he's last on the list. Just terrible. So Cup, he's a literal meme. The only reason why I have Cup a step above Eth Koth is because there was a point where one of the tactics was you'd put Cup with Padme, Jedi Knight Anakin, and you'd basically get a bonus turn with Anakin right away. But I mean, it's just such a meme thing that, like, we cannot have Cup any higher than this. So Clone Wars Chewie and Jedi Knight Guardian, I actually have a little bit higher here because they're decent cannon fodder, particularly for Jedi Master Kenobi. They're both Galactic Republic tanks. So one of the tactics that you could do, right, if you kind of put them on there, and they will taunt and be bait for their enemies like Commander Tano against another Jedi Master Kenobi team. So you could sacrifice your Clone Wars Chewie or Jedi Knight Guardian that way, and that gives, you an advantage against your opponent that you saved your General Kenobi for something. So again, it's one of those things where I say, like, they can be cannon fodder. They recognize that there's a little bit more use for these guys than, Cup. Just please. Kit Fisto, if it wasn't for the CM, he would probably be with Eth Koth. He does have a combat mission for territory battles, and that deserves a shout that, there is a way to use him. Not a great character by any stretch of the imagination. He's down here for a reason. But that combat mission deserves that he does get rated a little bit higher for that. Especially because I think for some guilds, I think I just did the math today. I think if you're perfect through every combat mission, your guild could be like 385 million GP to get through like Rise of the Empire Phase 1. Again, if you were perfect through all combat missions. But if you're a lower level guild and you're trying to maximize your stars, your guild building Kit Fisto does help towards that goal. As crazy as that sounds. Not recommending you do it. I'm just, making the case, right? These guys are all pretty terrible. All right, Commander Cody is next. He's a cause of some of depression for me. I put his Zeta on him. I had really high hopes that I could find a way to use him in some way, shape, or form, and I just never really have. He's almost always an afterthought on a team or never on a team. I can't say I've never used him, but he's never had a legitimate impact in any scenario. So, I mean, the Zeta on him hurts me. I really have never found a good use for it, and that's unfortunate. He's a Jedi Master Kenobi wreck, and other than that, that's the nicest thing I can say about him, which is just like my trig teacher telling me that the nicest thing he could say was that I was in his class. So, that's the way that Cody fits on this list. All right, Ima Gundai. There's like niche uses of him with Jedi, using Kadi Mundi and stuff, but really not that good of a character. Just there's always better Jedi. again, those niche uses just are not worth the gear that you would put into this character right now. Just, there's not enough there. Definitely something that, the only reason I rated him above Cody is I've actually seen people use him in like GACs and things like that. That there are actually ways that I could see this character getting used that Cody just does not get used. And again, there's not a lot separating these characters. With this time, I am trying a little bit harder to just go in tiers because I think it's a lot more fun for you guys to like pick those apart rather than having like 4 awful characters in the same squad. So, hopefully you guys enjoy that. Jedi Consular, he's a starter pilot. Not a great ship. I don't know why he has a Galactic Republic tag, but he does. It actually kind of makes me mad that he's Galactic Republic. But he's got that, he's got the tag. He's a starter pilot. That's about it. Nothing really crazy there. Not very good. He's a starter. He used to be like the starter character, but it's kind of one of those things that you got to recognize he's a pilot. And other than that, we can move on. All right, Luminara, trash without the Ami. I think that goes without saying. Without her Omicron, she's trash. With her Omicron, this is about where I see her. Not that the Omicron isn't good. Just, I can't, there's nothing that leads you into that besides her Omicron. And that to me really drops her value. That she's not something you're going to farm up along the way and then boom, you get to use her. It's a side farm. That's about it. Side farming, you need an Omicron to get any use out of her in a single game mode. We're asking a lot. You guys already know why Clone Sergeant is down here from my harsh opinions videos, but he's a Galactic Republic. He is Galactic Republic. He's a requirement for Jedi Master Kenobi, but he's one of those characters that his ship has a high reinforcement priority. So it's going to come out when you don't want it to. So to me, it really drops his value and usefulness. Even though you can use him with other fleets, he's not a good character. Again, one of those that you'll almost never use. So to me, it's just, he's better off just left like unused on the bench. All right, Barriss Offee is next. And Barriss isn't a bad character, but she's not required for anything. And you really need relics on her. Like, I've had her Zeta for forever. But you really need relics. Like, for me, I don't ever get to use Barriss. And that's unfortunate, because she's a great character. But you need relics to get any kind of good use out of her because of the state of this game, that people could just one-shot my Barriss at gear 11. I mean, you look, she's got, 70k total health and protection. That's a Han Solo basic for me. And she's gone. So she needs those relics to get real good use out of her. So one of those that, if you're willing to relic her, great, but you got to go out of your way to do it. I have her rated above Luminara because Barriss actually has some really good uses, and people will use her a lot in those really good Jedi teams, particularly with Jedi Master Luke. All right, Qui-Gon Jinn, similar to Luminara, he's trash without his Omicron. Now with his Omicron, he's great, but Omicrons are only a small part of the game. And for me, he is a Jedi Master Kenobi Rex, so he does deserve some credit above Barriss for that. So, with that Omicron, guys, he's good, but it's one single game mode. It's not transcending into other areas. Now, Aayla Secura, I want to note the gap here that Qui-Gon Jinn in GAC is so important, but once you leave GAC, not so much. Aayla can be really useful. I've gotten actually a lot of use out of Aayla Secura. She's got a stun on her basic. She can call assists. I don't know if people actually really read her kit, but so she has a 35% chance to call an ally to assist. She has down here, she has a 65% counter chance, and counter damage if in addition she stuns her target whenever she critically hits. I mean, it's not a bad kit, guys. It's pretty good. So it's one of those that you'll use with your Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron a lot when you get Kenobi. But I've actually used her with Jedi Knight Luke at times. I've used her inside of TB with Jedi Master Luke. I've found some ways to utilize Aayla. So yeah, I mean, she can be very useful, especially if you're investing relics in her for Kenobi. Again, I'm not saying that she's a better, you got to recognize in this case that the reason these two are ahead of Barriss is purely Jedi Master Kenobi. All right, Plo Koon, next guy on the list. He's got an amazing ship. Now, outside of his ship, he's dog ship. But yeah, with it, his ship is amazing. You don't need a lot of gear for it, and that's why I have him so high on the list. Unlike Barris, where you need those relic levels, my Plo Koon is Gear 9. And I still use his ship every single time I use the Negotiator. Obviously, with relics, it'd be a better ship, but he's still phenomenal. What you're really there for is his reinforcement ability. Just probably one of the best, most important ships in the Galactic Republic fleet. In fact, if I ever bring just 4 ships inside of a Galactic Republic fleet, Plo Koon's ship is one of those. So that's how important he is. All right, Coyote Mundi, you guys know this from other harsh opinions, right? But I feel that he's always overrated simply because it's not that he's not a good character, guys. Do not get me wrong. I just think that everybody makes him into something he really isn't, because without the Galactic Republic Jedi, right? You guys remember with his Jedi Council here. So they get this 30 speed, 40% max health, 20% offense if all allies are Galactic Republic Jedi. So it's one of those situations for me where if you can find those full teams of Galactic Republic Jedi, you can get use out of him. But that's few and far between, because Jedi Master Kenobi, you're going to want Commander Tano with him, so she's not a Jedi. And then if you're trying to use him with Jedi Master Luke, well, he's not Galactic Republic, so, it's not helping. So it's kind of one of those where when you can find that squad that he fits in, he's really good. But I do think he's a little bit overrated simply because there's not a lot of ways that Galactic Republic Jedi actually get used. He's a great, 5th or 6th member for your Jedi Master Luke team, depending on what you're facing. But I've found plenty of ways and other characters that I like in that team better than him at the current moment. So again, guys, that's a harsh take. I know a lot of people like Cam, but I just think he's a little bit overrated. All right, Wrecker is next with I hate that word, and I hate that he's this low. But my problem with Wrecker is whenever I make a 3v3 team for the Bad Batch, he's the one I leave out. And obviously I don't have Omega geared up, but and she's not Galactic Republic, so she's not on this list. But Wrecker is the one that I leave out most often. It's not that he's a bad tank at all, but his kit is really designed with Bad Batch in mind, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But he gains 20% max health and protection for each other Bad Batch ally. So again, when you're a tank and your whole survivability is built on being with a certain team, you kind of lose some of that viability to be versatile, the versatility to be used elsewhere. Now, of course, Clone 99, he is the GOAT, and, Clone Force 99 is right here, the rest of them. We got Hunter, Tech, and Echo. I couldn't really separate them. They're 3 that I use together the most often. They're 3 that I think, this is my 3v3 team that I use with them. They're great characters, but they kind of need each other. It's one of those where, and even then, they really need Wrecker to get the most use out of them. But, I don't know. As good as the Bad Batch is, you can't pick them apart and place them elsewhere, so I had to rate them lower on the list. All right, this one hurt, but Echo and Arc Trooper, a step above the Bad Batch. I have them a step above in my mind simply because both teams are very good, but as soon as you place them with General Skywalker, it elevates them to a level that the Bad Batch simply can't get to. So, the reason these 2 characters are right here simply comes from the fact that the 2 characters you worry about the most in the 501st are Rex and Fives, right? That Fives' sacrifice is so key to that team, and Rex, not only with the turn meter gain on his form up ability, but also Rexecute. I really, early advantage, whatever that is. I call it Rexecute because it sounds way better. Those 2 to me just kind of take a step above the other 2 in my personal opinion. Again, all of them are good characters. It really did hurt to put these guys this low on the list. The reason I put them here is without the right leadership, and as soon as you start you can't really break them up as much. So because they're so dependent upon good leads, I kind of had to rate them a little bit lower on the list than some of these other characters who have more versatility to be utilized in more ways. Which leaves Padme next. The Senator. Padme low on this list simply comes from the fact that once you get Kenobi, she drops into a, fifth slot or even non-existent in that team. And that hurt. I mean, again, guys, like this faction really hurt me ranking, but even as good as she is before Kenobi, it's the fact that as soon as you get Kenobi, she really does drop it in terms of importance to that faction. And she's almost like a character away from getting replaced in that team, which is a scary thought that you get one other decent Galactic Republic character and she could be out of the Jedi Master Kenobi team. Like that is a 100% fact in my opinion. Which is crazy because, I mean, for so long, like before Kenobi, I would have had her way higher on this list. But because Kenobi's here, I have to rate her down. She needs to take that drop. All right. Next up, we've got Baby Tano do Baby Tano do. If you have children, you'll understand why I did that. And if you don't, consider yourself lucky. But now Ahsoka's next. The reason she's lower on the list is that her kit is just so dependent upon being with Galactic Republic and Jedi Knight Anakin that I had to rate her lower. It just comes down to versatility for her. She's fantastic inside of the Galactic Republic. She's got a great ship. But for me, which also, Rex and Fives I should mention up here, they do have ships as well, and that elevates them to a status these guys aren't at. But with Ahsoka, her ship's good. It has a lot of really good uses. But for me, I think she definitely needs to take that hit for being so, concerned with being in Galactic Republic teams that, she's not assisting this assist ability, right? It's only if the leader's Galactic Republic, so she can't even be used in, a Jedi team for those kinds of assists, and so for me, I had to drop her. All right, R2-D2 is next, and to be honest, I could put him up, and I could put him down. I have to put him where I think he belongs as the plug and play. He's got all the different tags. I've covered him so many times, and he still deserves to be covered. You can use him in a Padme team in the Galactic Republic. Obviously, he fits into so many other places. I just think that, with all those tags that he has, he deserves the credit for what he can do. And that, for some people, you're going to be like, oh, I don't use R2-D2. And for a lot of us, we're like, man, whenever I need to figure out who to put with Resistance or a droid team, Rebel, R2-D2's there. He can actually be really good with Galactic Republic. He's got the stuns with Padme. And you remember with his number crunch ability, 10% offense for each Galactic Republic ally. And then the other thing is they're going to gain some of his max health. Look at that. Gain his max protection, offense, and max health. And then they're going to, right up in here, whenever they score a critical hit, dispel debuff. So again, for Galactic Republic, he can really do some good stuff inside of that Padme team. All right, Mace Windu. He's on the council, right? He's a Jedi Master. I really like Mace Windu. What's holding him from being higher on this list, as good as he is, what's holding him from being higher, his taunt can be dispelled. It 100 can be dispelled. And in terms of using him with Kenobi, some of his things are based around turn meter gains, right? His Omicron, that kind of set him back. And then for me, I think the other side is using him out. If you try to use him with Jedi Master Luke, you're giving me an easy out to target another character. And with Mace Windu, if you can go and kill him before Jedi Master Luke, you just did me a favor, right? That just did me a favor. So, he's a good character. He's got a lot of good uses, especially with the Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron and GAC. But once you start leaving that behind, there's definitely some ways that he can be exploited. So Grandmaster Yoda is a step above Mace Windu in my opinion. He's a little bit more versatile than Mace because you can be used with Jedi Master Luke, Jedi Knight Luke, Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi. You could use him with Jedi Master Kenobi. Just can't gain any turn meter, and a lot of his kit is based around that turn meter. But you can use him with Padme as well, and the use with Padme can actually be super helpful with the foresight, tenacity, protection up. He can do a lot of really good things there. Just one of the more versatile characters in the game. I would rate Yoda as a very important character, and one that if you relicked him early, I'm not going to fault you for it because just how often I use him and how many times I've used him. All right, Big Shaak is next. I think this might surprise people, but I really rate Shaak T high. she's gotten a fantastic kit. You can use her with Jedi, you can use her with clones. Her leadership is completely designed for clone troopers. Like, it has nothing to do with Jedi, which is fine, because you don't need her to be a leader for Jedi. They gain all, I mean, look at all this. They gain so much stuff in here. I don't need to go into detail, but the big thing here is that she'll gain 20% turn meter whenever she or a clone trooper ally takes damage, she gains turn meter. But then, I mean, she's got a heal over here, right? Call to assist. She's got a dispel on her basic. She has a dispel buffs on her basic and dispel debuff special. Just a solid kit. You can use her with any Jedi team. You can use her with any, Galactic Republic team, and they get better. I mean, you can use her as the leader of Bad Batch or as the, 5th slot in Bad Batch. She's your leader of the 501st before you get General Skywalker. I mean, I've never not used Shaak T, so a big Shaak deserves a shout. Again, with C-3PO, similar to R2-D2, it's those tags. The thing with C-3PO that I really like is when you put him with the Galactic Republic, right, his intermediary here, each time a Galactic Republic or Ewok ally gains a different non-unique, non-protection buff, they gain 15% protection up for 2 turns. Well, remember, in Padme's kit, whenever you have protection up, you cannot be critically hit and you cannot be debuffed. So if you put him with Padme, he's fantastic, right? If you don't have a Commander Luke team to go into, he's so good. Just one of those characters that the teams he fits into are all amazing. Where with R2, some of those teams aren't necessarily the most fantastic, the greatest. But he's got uses with Jedi Master Kenobi in PvE as well, for C-3PO that is. And so I really think he deserves to be high on the list for just all those different things he can do, the different tags. Again, I think where he really shines is that PvE, that you need droids, resistance, Galactic Republic, Rebel, whatever. He's there and he can boost those teams. So that's why I have C-3PO that high. And maybe I'm a little bit biased that you could switch him and R2-D2. I don't know. I mean, R2-D2 does get used as that plug and play a little bit more than C-3PO because of the Commander Luke team. But C-3PO elevates that Luke team to a level that it doesn't exist without him. So that's where he is. All right. Jedi Knight Anakin is not on the council, right? Take a seat, young Skywalker. What I love about Jedi Knight Anakin, he's got a great ship. He really does have a fantastic ship. It's the linchpin of that Galactic Republic fleet. He is a great Jedi character, and he's a great Galactic Republic character with Padme. So he's got that Padme synergy, and even just Galactic Republic. So with the Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron, you guys know he is the key here. If Padme's an ally, dispel buffs. I mean, it can't be evaded. And then the big thing here is that Anakin takes a bonus turn whenever an ally is defeated or below 50% health, and deals 100% more damage on his next attack if they were all Galactic Republic. And then Padme can take bonus turns with that Zeta. So again, it's a luxury Zeta for sure, because if you get Kenobi, you might not be using them together. But he's a great character. He's one of those Jedi that you put with a Jedi Knight Revan or somebody, and the amount of turns he can take if people are falling below 50% health is kind of scary. And then you think too, enemy gets defeated, he gets a bonus turn, right? He could delete somebody, do something crazy, and then somebody like Jolie can do revives. And so now you can really spam some of these turns. You can take advantage of that threshold really easily with Anakin if you're smart. So that's where he's there on the list. All right, we got General Kenobi here, Space Jesus Jr. He's a great tank. He revolutionized tanks when he came out. He was the best plug-and-play tank for a very long time. Probably still one of the better plug-and-play tanks. For me, what I love about him is his ability to have, the crit hit immunity. He's got dispels. He's got foresight. I mean, it just so good. Again, he's kind of nailed on with the Padme and Galactic Republic Jedi. I've seen a lot of people placing him with Qui-Gon Jinn to kind of trip up Bad Batch teams. Again, guys, I could go on and on and on, but that's where he is. He's got to be near the top because that's where he belongs. So also not on the council is General Skywalker. He's here because of how much he elevates the 501st. Without him, they're a good team. With him, they're beating Galactic Legends Rey. Again, Ben Solo kind of throws a wrench in that, but there's a lot of stuff General Skywalker can do. One of the best non-Galactic Legend teams in the game. No Omicrons required. he can fit in with Jedi teams really, really well. I don't think people always recognize how well he fits into like a Jedi Master Kenobi, or not Jedi Master Kenobi. He does fit in there, but like Jedi Master Luke, Jedi Knight Luke teams, even Jedi Knight Revan, kind of put him in some of those teams, and he does some really good things, especially in some of those PvE game modes when you need full Jedi teams. He's a great one to plug in there if your 501st isn't up to par or up to snuff. You know, there's some really good ways to use General Skywalker. Just one of those characters that completely revolutionizes your roster when you get him. All right, Commander Tano, she had to be number 2. The plug and play queen herself. You'll use her mostly with Jedi Master Kenobi once you get him, and before that you'll use her with Commander Tano. Oh my gosh, with Padme, excuse me. But she's also got the Scoundrel tag. And, you know, you can run her with that unaligned force user, which means like seer teams. I mean, worst comes to worst, you're throwing her with Star Killer. But the other one is Rey. She can do really, really good things with Rey. So just one of those characters that she's taking advantage of some of those really good tags. Her unique is amazing. She can delete people. I mean, what's not to love about this character? She definitely deserves to be number 2. She takes Kenobi and makes him into what's the best, into that team. And Space Jesus, I mean, come on, guys. Kenobi, number 1. It's not even close. He has the high ground. I am very torn if I still think he's the best Galactic Legend in the game. I think Datacrons have really shifted that at times, where some of those Datacron sets, was unplayable. And some of them, it's been like, he doesn't really get anything out of this. So, he's still one of the best Galactic Legends in the game. Definitely top 3 for me. But yeah, guys, that's the Galactic Republic, but we have one honorable mention. I know I said she wasn't, on the list earlier, but I was just tricking you guys. But Omega is she's honorary Galactic Republic because of the Bad Batch team. If I was to put her with somebody, it'd be in this Wrecker tier here. She does make Wrecker a lot better, and she makes the team a lot better. I know there's hate for Omega, but the Bad Batch with Omega is a lot better than the Bad Batch without her. From the standpoint that she provides additional healing, she's giving Wrecker an additional 20% protection and health, which is huge. She's assisting, which is, allowing to, facilitate more damage. She's a character that I really think makes this team into what they are in 5v5, in my opinion. That I think that she really is, she belongs with Wrecker, where in 3v3, you got to find another way to use her, but 5v5, I mean, she's shining. And again, territory battles, she's got the Omicron, very good character. So that's where I would put Omega, guys. She is part of the squad, and we need to, recognize that. But that's the list, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. I'm not going to lie here. I almost put Jedi Master Kenobi below Skywalker and Commander Tano. I almost moved General Skywalker up here. I was that close. I just couldn't do it. Without Commander Tano, Jedi Master Kenobi can't beat General Skywalker. And that sounds terrible, right? But that's the truth. Like, General Skywalker will beat a Jedi Master Kenobi team without Commander Tano in it. And so I was really struggling there, but I decided I had to stick with it and say that, we got to recognize that when you get Commander Tano with your Jedi Master Kenobi, that's just an automatic Galactic Legend, or Reva in that case. But we're going to pretend she doesn't exist for this video and be happy for a little bit. That's the video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. As always, smash that subscribe button, leave likes, and leave comments, guys. I got to leave you with Wampa the King, right? He's going to sign it off here. Make sure we get to 5,000. I love all of you. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Cheers.